Mathematics is a source of discomfort or perhaps trauma for many people out there, but one educator is working to change all that. Today we explore how students, especially those who've struggled, can find their place in the mathematics classroom. It's good to have Geillan, founder of Compassionate Math. Thank you so much for your time. How do emotions affect math success? This is an interesting one, the psychology of all of this.
Well, math educators have recognized that there are a number of socio-emotional factors or limiting beliefs that affect students' success in mathematics. So math anxiety is something that we all recognize and know, the fear of mathematics, but there are a number of other factors that could limit students' willingness to engage in mathematics. For example, imposter syndrome, feeling that you're a faker in mathematics or that you don't belong in that space. Math identity, feeling that you're not a math person because other types of people are math people. A lot of these factors are tied to issues revolving around race, gender, sexual identity, and class. And so you find that a lot of students are put into math boxes or not put into math boxes. And it ends up having a detrimental effect on our society, on our business, entrepreneurship, etc.
Yeah, and I imagine there are teachers out there who, of course, have huge demands on them, and they look at some students and go, gosh, they might need more help. Your students are fine. It's a numbers game in many ways, shapes and forms. But is it really as much of a gatekeeper as we're sort of touching on today, do you think? Do people believe that?
Oh my God, yeah. Yes, absolutely a gatekeeper. Mathematics is a gatekeeper in a number of ways. So standardized tests will determine the quality of the college that you go to, could determine what types of scholarship, financial aid you get. A lot of students, surprisingly enough, choose their college majors based on mathematics requirements. And oftentimes students who do not place into college level mathematics or pre-calculus, calculus, etc., never quite get over that hump and may find themselves not even finishing college. I think there's a big reason. Mathematics is a big reason as to why a lot of students do not complete college, have a difficult time completing colleges. And then later on, students might graduate, might get a job, but what happens when they are promoted to management and they have to do their P&L reports? What happens when their VP says, okay, now you have 6% growth, we need another 2% growth? That is not an 8% growth factor. And if you don't quite understand that, you're going to have a difficult time. So that's going to limit your professional potential. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you're going to have to do a lot of math so that you can keep on top of your figures and your numbers. You can't trust a bookkeeper or an accountant, or maybe you're not at a space where you could even hire somebody. You still need to be able to do mathematics.
100%. So how did we get here? What have you witnessed when it comes to getting the maths curriculum to where we are now?
So interestingly enough, I call this the cycle of benign neglect. And the cycle of benign neglect says that throughout the generations since the end of World War II, mathematics curricula has shifted the way from being very conceptually focused to being procedurally focused. And a number of these shifts have occurred over the course of the generation. So you have a parent learning one form of mathematics, maybe new math, and then their child is learning some form of mathematics, maybe a back to basics, or you have a back to basics parent working with a Common Core parent in the United States. And these evolutions occur as our understanding of the best ways to teach mathematics are and what our political and economic needs are. Unfortunately, teachers have never been at the front lines of receiving the help and the support in transitioning from one curriculum to another. And so a lot of teachers experience a lot of math trauma. And so they carry those anxieties and then bring it on to their students. And it unfortunately manifests in the cycle from generation to generation. And we're living with these effects now, not to mention the effects of COVID and online learning and that entire debacle.
Yeah, the 4 years we almost sort of lost in many ways, shapes and forms. But what tools can we do to help students succeed? What would your sort of identified fix for this be, do you think?
So I do work with students called Working Through Math Trauma. So I help students understand the sources of their math trauma, help them know that their work is not, and their worth and their ability to do mathematics is often tied to those experiences and not necessarily to how intelligent you are. Mathematics is thought of as being an intelligence measure, but it really isn't. It is a skill just like any other skill, and it is a skill that you can learn. And so what I do is I do work with students to help them understand that this is a skill and help them understand that this is an achievable skill that they can master. I also work with university faculty and teachers to help them understand what students are feeling and what they're experiencing so that they could provide a better learning environment for them. But I do also work in the business field. I do work with professionals who would like to or need to, for their career, engage in mathematics, but just have that echo that sits within them that makes them uncomfortable and do. I actually worked with one of my favorite students was a woman who was in her mid 40s and contacted me and said, for my midlife crisis, I want to reclaim my relationship with mathematics.
Nice.
So I could help my kids and so I could engage with my colleagues. And it was beautiful.
It's empowering, and what a great story, and I love that, and I'm inspired by our discussion today. It's so cool. I'm curious to know if people do want to engage with you, perhaps get some help, get some assistance, clear out some of that trauma and demystify this stuff. Where's the best place to go?
Oh, you can absolutely reach me at compassionatemath.com. I look forward to hearing from anybody who is willing to reframe their story around mathematics.
Geillan, I want to thank you for joining us on the program, outlining more about this. I think it's a really empowering sort of space you're in, and it's warm, and I can tell how sort of passionate you are about it as well. It's coming through the screen, so I appreciate that as well.
Thank you. Thank you.